Hello, boys and girls. Today is September the 11th, 2020. We are going to talk about It's All in the Details for Lesson 12. In reading, the students will identify textual details and use them to read text closely. In writing, the students will revise their personal narrative drafts to incorporate good and varied details. Now, before I go into that information, I want to channel a little background information. So let's discuss what is interesting details. Well, you focus on finding memorable dialogue and describing how it defines characters. Normally, when we're reading a book, if the character is always yelling or shouting or always angry, it kind of defines how we read the text and how we perceive the person or how we define those characters. There's other things that we can look for also when we're trying to find interesting details. We can look for descriptive details, such as how something smells or how something tastes. We can look at how something sounds. We can look at how something feels. We can also look at physical actions of a character or details that have physical actions in it, as well as how something looks. So all of these are things that we can look at when we're looking for interesting details. Now, in our reading that we're going to read about, there are some core vocabulary words that we kind of need to pay attention to or know ahead of time so that we can better understand what we are reading. OT, a noun, stands for occupational therapy, which consists of exercises and projects used to help patients recover skills for daily life. Just so they can do everyday things, they have to go through occupational therapy. A melody is a tune, a sound. Adept is when you're very skilled at something, you're very good at something, you're adept to it. Flawlessly means that you are perfectly without imperfections. You don't make any mistakes. You did something flawlessly. And gazed mean that you looked at something closely. So these are our core vocabulary words that we will encounter when we are reading our story. So this is from your reader. It is page 141 and 149 that I am going to read for you guys. I want you to follow along with me as I am reading it. It is Small Steps, The Year I Got Polio, Chapter 13, The Great Accordion Concert by Peg Corrett. And I'm going to read the excerpt first. This means it's a snippet of what we're going to read about. After Peg regains movement, she is transferred to Shelter in Arms, a rehabilitation hospital. There, she lives with a group of other girls her age who are also recovering from polio. Peg begins to use a wheelchair and works hard in physical and occupational therapy to get stronger so that she can walk and move easily again. Her parents come to visit every week, and she and her roommates have fun together, even as they face challenges of polio. So now I'm going to read as Peg. Although I had not yet mastered the art of moving the pile of marbles from one spot with my toes, I received a new challenge in OT. I was going to learn to play the accordion. Certain muscles of the arms and hands are used when pushing an accordion in and out, and it happened that I needed help with those particular muscles. The Shelter in Arms owned an accordion, and Miss Bolliard knew I'd had 2 years of piano lessons. She said the accordion was the perfect exercise for me. From my very first attempt, I hated the accordion. It was heavy and awkward, and pushing it in and out made my arms ache. The trick of playing a melody on the keyboard with one hand, pushing the proper chord buttons with the other hand, and at the same time pushing and pulling on the accordion was completely beyond me. I mean, it would be easier if you asked me to juggle and tap dance at the same time. I said, "You just need practice." Mrs. Billard replied, "Try a little longer." I did try. However, Even when I got the correct right hand note with the proper left hand chord and pushed out through the bellows at the same time, I did not care for the sound. I had never liked accordion music, and my efforts, according to OT, during OT, did nothing to change my mind. When my parents had heard about the accordion, Mother said, "What fun! You've always learned your piano lessons." "That's different," I said. "I like the way a piano sounds." "You already know how to read music," Dad pointed out. "You will master the accordion in no time." I insisted I would never be adept on the accordion, and Dad kept saying it would be a breeze. I finally said, "Why don't you play it if you think it's so easy?" "All right, I will," said Dad. And off he went to the OT room to borrow the accordion. He came back with the shoulder straps in place and an eager look on his face. My dad played the piano by ear, so he didn't need sheet music. Even so, the sounds he produced could only be called squawks and squeaks. So now you're going to pause this video and you're going to answer the question on Schoology in discussions. And the question says, why does Peg need to learn to play the accordion? Okay, guys, go ahead and pause this video and answer your question on Schoology.